Hi everyone, this is Chasadora of Flip Your Manuscript, and I am here with you to share 10 random writing facts about me. Writing fact number 1. I started writing when I was 11 years old. I remember very vividly because I was in the 6th grade and there was this young lady by the name of Adrienne. I don't remember her last name because that was so long ago, but her first name was Adrienne, and she wrote too. So we were like the two black girl writers in class. So we were like unicorns. So we would go back and forth and we'd write stories and we'd share them with each other, and eventually, you know, it kind of became a competition sort of. So anytime she would write a story, people would then look at me and be like, okay, well, she wrote one, where your story at? And one day we were in history class. Oh my gosh, we were in history class and this boy was reading my story. Now, mind you, I'm 11 years old, so this is 6th grade. This story is talking about everything. This is an urban fiction book that will be out now, written by an 11-year-old, talking about sex, drugs, money, whatever. Don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but that was in my story. But I got a new idea while he was reading it, so I said, you know, let me get the story back and I'll give it right back to you. So I take my story back to, you know, make the addition to it, and when I do, he gets upset. He gets so mad that he snaps behind me, snatches the story, and goes and turns it into the teacher. Again, I am 11 years old, writing this story about all kinds of sex and all kinds of drug lords and kingpins, and at 11, they think I'm fucking crazy. So I get wrote up, I get sent to the principal's office, who then calls my father and, you know, has to tell my dad, your daughter's writing inappropriate things and inappropriate material and blah, blah, blah. So I got held for the rest of the day. He had to come to the school to get me and then be released. So I had to deal with it from him. And I was just so embarrassed. Like, I remember sitting in the principal's office just so embarrassed. It was a mess. It was a mess and I was embarrassed. And because of it, I stopped showing people my writing for 10 whole years. Nobody else saw what I wrote until I was 21 years old. And that's how I got started writing. The first book I published was back in 2011. I published it through a publishing company called Author House. authorhouse.com, and that is actually a pay to publish print on demand type situation. So I actually ended up paying about $800 to get my first book published, and still to this day have not recouped those funds. The biggest shock that I had in the book industry was just how petty that it can be. It is crazy because in my mind, we're all a bunch of nerds. We write books. That's what we do. So I don't understand where all the drama comes from. I mean, sometimes there's drama with, you know, people stealing story ideas and, publisher beef and author beef, and it was just so much drama, and I just did not see that coming. Because again, we write books. We write books. We make up stories. That's our job. That is the nerdiest, dopest, coolest, I don't know what you beefing for profession in the world to me. But there's always some beef. So my best advice to you, new and old authors alike, is to keep your head down, do your work, stay out the beef. What made me want to be a part of Flip Your Manuscript, I was actually honored when I was asked to be a part of Flip Your Manuscript, because I wanted to do something similar. Like I said, I've been writing books since I was 11 years old. I've been published since I was 21. I'm 31 at this point. So I have a lot of you know, things I've up, down, you know, career obstacles that I've stumbled through and things like that. And I've always wanted to share, you know, what I know. I've just personally have always been one of those people, you know, I'm not one of those people who withholds information. People message me and all day long to ask me stuff. And if I can help you, cool. If not, I'll point you in the direction to go. I've never had a problem with that. And Flip Your Manuscript is all about helping authors to become better authors. Like I said, when I came into the industry, I came in by myself. I had no one to help me. It was really you gotta figure it out on your own kind of thing. And that can be tough, especially in an industry that's so competitive, that a lot of help is not offered because it's just so competitive. You know, books come out every day. Every day. Like hundreds of books come out every day. So everyone's not always willing to help. We are really looking to help authors be better and to progress in their career. Like, we're not going to give you information and then when you use it be like, oh my gosh, why are you using the information that we gave you? That's just crazy to me. So I love the concept of helping other authors. I love to see people progress. My absolute favorite part of writing, and anyone who knows me probably knows this, is character development. Character development. I love it. That is my favorite part. I love to create new characters, and I guess that's the part of me that is a little bit schizophrenic, I guess, because I love coming up with characters. I love discovering their backstories. I love randomly meeting them. To me, nothing is more fulfilling when you randomly meet a character, and then the slow progression of their story begins to come out. I call that my conversation with the character. That's when the character starts to open up to me enough for me to get out the story. Because that's what we're doing. We're telling the character's story. In order to do that, you have to listen and get to know your character. My least favorite part of writing is actually getting the story from my brain to my laptop. If I can telekinetically, you know, just transfer it, that would be great. Because that's always just the toughest part. And I think most authors, most writers in general would agree with that. But that's always the hardest part. Because I know what I want to happen here. But sometimes when I sit down at the computer to write, ain't no haps, honey. Ain't no haps. And then I have to refer to, you know, tips on how to get rid of writer's block. But that's my least favorite part of writing. Actually writing the story. Actually getting it from the brain to the laptop. That's my favorite character to date is, drumroll, Jason Ace Newsom, aka Ace, from Ace and Blue, from Never Thought I Loved a Dope Boy, and of course originally from Game Changers. It's a tie, actually. Like I said, Ace, between Ace and Mace Moore from Saved by Kingpin. So that's Ace from the Ace and Blue series, which is of course Me and Soul series, and Mace Moore from my series, Saved by Kingpin. They're my favorite. And they're tied because they are tied for two different reasons, but I can't choose one over the other. I chose Ace because, of course, Ace was my first, I think actually when I sat down to write the Game Changer series, Ace was the first character I came up with. In that whole entire series, I was torn between making the story mainly about Gavin or should it be mainly about Ace. Of course, for that series, Gavin won out. But because everyone loved Ace so much, and because I loved Ace so much, Ace had to get his own series. And I don't know, I just love him. Every time I write about him, I like him more and more and more. I don't know, I just have an attachment to him because he's just like, Ace is just like that dude. Like, he don't play no games, but he love his boo. And I love that. I love Ace. Ace is my nigga. Like, I act like I know him for real, but that's my nigga. And with Mace was important for me because Mace came about, he came from a series, my first series under a new publisher after Ace and Blue. Ace and Blue, we were like super duper blessed to have like huge success with the Ace and Blue series. And when you have that kind of success, you know, as a collaborator, writing your own solo book after that type of success is tough. It is hard, because I know for me personally, it was like, okay, it has to be hot, because if it's not hot, then people are going to assume that your writing skills aren't necessarily up to par with the person that you collaborate with. Like I say, I don't know if that's something that all collaborators think about, but me personally, I do. And Soul is a bomb ass writer. Like, that girl can write her ass off. So when it came time for me to write, you know, my first series by myself after that series released, I was just like freaking out. And I remember actually me and her were on the phone, you know, discussing, you know, what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna bounce the ideas off and blah blah blah, because she's kind of my person who I do that with, because she's the person who knows my writing style the best, because we have what, 9 books together? No, I'm sorry, 6. We have 6 published, and we have, of course, more that we're working on. But so she knows my writing style. So, you know, when I remember telling her, I was like, and I was so frustrated, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and blah 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 blah. And in a way, at the time, I was kind of being funny. I was kind of being a jackass about it, because I was just so in my feelings and nervous. But then, as I started writing and getting to know Mace more and things like that, like, Mace is my guy too. Like, that's my guy. And people right now underestimate Mace, and it's how I set it up. But this next book, the finale of Saved by a Kingpin, y'all gonna see why I love Mace so much. Just watch. My least favorite character to date is Mila from Game Changer, and it's just because she was just a thought. She was a thought before thoughts were around, and like, she did any and everything, just extra for no reason. Wait, you know what? I changed my mind, because Cass, again, this is another situation where, what I think you saw something in part 1 and part 2 of Saved by a Kingpin with Cassandra, but if you don't like her now, oh, trust me, part 3, she's a bitch. Let me tell you a big secret about Cassandra. She's a big old bitter bitch, and she is my least favorite character to date. The biggest flop of mine to date is actually still available. A lot of people actually like it. It has a 4-star review overall. Customer rating on Amazon. So I guess some people like it, but to me, I consider it a flop, because I'm really used to being in that 4.8, 4.9, 5 point reader review average. So for me to have a 4, to me, that's a flop. But that book was called Falling for the Connect's Daughter. And it was actually a reprint of my very first book that I published back in 2011. And it was only a flop, I believe, because it was rushed. It was very rushed. And it was rushed, and then because it was rushed, it didn't go through editing properly. So the unedited version is actually what got released first. And when that happened, oh hell, that was it. The reviews, they were terrible. And that hurt my soul. That hurt my soul a little bit. But it was a lesson learned not to rush. Finish the book when you're finished with the book. Don't try to rush it, because when you rush it, you just put any old thing out, and no one likes that. They give you bad reviews. So my favorite author is, well, first I'll do my favorite mainstream author, and then I'll do my favorite urban fiction author, right? So my favorite mainstream author is J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is the author of the Harry Potter series. She is my favorite, because we just like here. We have a lot of our personal story kind of matches. For example, her mother was the reason she started writing. That was kind of her inspiration. And the same thing with me. My mother was my inspiration as well. She actually was the very first person that I saw write stories. Even though my mother was more on the poetry side of things, that was the first person I saw write. So when I began to write, like I said, at the age of 11, it wasn't weird to me because that's just, my mom does it, so I guess I do it too. So it wasn't weird, and we have that in common. We also have the fact that our mothers both passed away before either of them could see our careers come to fruition. So we have that in common also. And I just think the creativity that it takes to create a world, a whole universe with a whole universal history, the background, the characters' backgrounds, the school's backgrounds, the teachers at the school's backgrounds, the background of the magic, the different spells, like to come up with all of that out of one brain, that is some genius level shit. And then for it to be so good. And actually, I saw the first Harry Potter movie. The first Harry Potter movie that I saw was the third one. And once I saw that, I fell in love. Went back, saw the movies that I hadn't seen, got the books. Have seen, of course, all the movies since, have all the books. J.K. Rowling is my favorite author because she's a fucking genius and she creates magic. Literally and figuratively. And my favorite urban fiction author is, this is my collaborator, Soul. Soul is my favorite urban fiction author. That girl writes her ass off. Like, she can write so fast. So fast. Like, I look so slow when it comes to writing compared to Soul. And she's my favorite. I don't know if I told her that, but once you see the video, she'll know. Hey girl. But yes, so those are 10 random writing facts about me, Chaseadora. So I hope you like them. Tell me something about you. Leave me a random fact about you because I want to know about you guys as well. In the comment box below, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Flip Your Manuscript.